Alright YouTube, so we are back again today. I wanted to do a video kind of discussing why, for me personally, Tokyo Game Show was a bit of a letdown, underwhelming. I probably should have done this video yesterday, but we'd kind of done a couple days of daily content. I felt like taking a break. But anyways, we're here today. At a sort of basic level, what we had seen at Tokyo Game Show wasn't really new because of the trailer we had received a couple of days prior. If that trailer came out like at the end of the TGS showcase, or like a day or two after Tokyo Game Show, I think everything would have been okay for me personally. Because of this trailer, we'd already seen the squats minigame, and we'd already been spoiled by seeing Ifrit and Shiva, so we'd already seen the summons. And when you really just boil it down, Tokyo Game Show was the bombing mission, which we've already seen so much of the past couple months, the squats minigame, and then the apps boss fight. And again, we've already seen apps as far back as like prior to E3. The State of Play trailer showed us a little bit of apps, and we've seen some apps gameplay and some other trailers. So when it came to Tokyo Game Show, we'd pretty much already seen all this stuff. Now, there was some smaller things that were new, like extensive gameplay of Ifrit using some of his abilities, getting to see Hellfire, and Tifa and Aerith using some of their unique character abilities and some of their regular abilities. But that's all minor stuff compared to the trailer we got a few days prior that had like 3 or 4 character reveals, and getting to see like Aerith in the red dress and getting to see all the stuff that trailer showed us for the first time. Like, it really overshadowed Tokyo Game Show for me. Again, if we'd had the TGS presentation first and then they showed us the trailer at the end of it or a couple days later, it'd have been a lot better, because then whenever it happens, for one, the beginning would have been old anyway. We'd have already seen the bombing mission stuff. That would have been old. But then it rolls into the, the minute or two segment of showing us the squatting minigame. That would have been the first time we've seen that, and it'd have been a little bit exciting. And then it rolls into the apps boss fight. It's like, okay, we've already seen apps a little bit. That's kind of cool. And then you see the summon meter pop up on the right side, and you're like, whoa. That says summon. What's about to happen? And then you see Cloud summon Ifrit for the very first time. That'd have been exciting as hell for me. And I think another major issue for me is not having any sort of translations or like subtitles or whatever, because we didn't know what they were talking about on stage because it's entirely in Japanese. And we had to find out later on through, like, me personally, I learned on Twitter through the FF7 Remake Twitter account that they were adding a classic mode to the game, which is essentially a turn-based style of combat, which is huge, great information, but we didn't know about it until like afterwards because there was no sort of translations. Which to a certain degree makes sense because Tokyo Game Show is a Japanese event, but they came over here for E3 and had a whole E3 presentation, and half of that was them translating stuff from Japanese to English, from English to Japanese. So it's like, I figured they would do something at the very least, either translations or subtitles, or maybe there's like an English commentary stream, something like that for this event, but there wasn't. It was entirely Japanese. So we have to learn about information afterwards through other people translating it. And look, if you like Tokyo Game Show, that's completely fine. I even said in my video that I didn't dislike it, I didn't hate it, it was just underwhelming, because as somebody who talks about this game damn near every day of my life, and I go watch it and it's all pretty much old stuff we'd already seen prior, it's just kind of a letdown for me. And Tokyo Game Show is the last big event that we know FF7 Remake was going to be at. We don't know if it's going to be at any other game shows. We don't know if there's going to be any other State of Plays that it's going to be at. We don't know if there's going to be a PlayStation Experience at the end of this year. Like, we don't know when we're next going to see this game, so this was kind of like the go-home show, the go-home information to kind of tide us over for possibly the next 6 months, and it didn't really show us that level of stuff to like really get me excited, where I'm just like, okay, I can wait 6 months till the game comes out. Now, there's a good chance we're going to see more from this game at some point within the next 6 months, but I don't know when and where, and that's kind of the issue. We waited 3 months for this show. 3 months for Tokyo Game Show, and half of it was them showing us the bombing mission again. And then the other half was kind of new information, but nothing really major. We still have to have like a Red 13 character reveal at some point, because he has to be a part of this game, whether playable or just like kind of set him up for the next game. Whatever the case, Red 13 has to be in this game, so we're still waiting on that character reveal at some point. And the other big glaring issue here is no demo, no public demo. This is something we've been talking about pretty much since E3, so for like 3 months now we've been talking about them dropping a public demo for everybody to play on the PlayStation Network, and Tokyo Game Show seemed like the likely point, or less than 6 months for the game to come out. It seems like now would be a good time to be like, here, okay, let's drop the bombing mission for everybody on PlayStation Network to play and download and see if they want to pre-order this game. And nothing. We have no information. At this point, I don't know if we're even going to get a demo. It'd be fucking strange if they didn't. We've had a demo for every single Final Fantasy game since at least Final Fantasy VII back in 1996 or so. We've had every single numbered entry has had a demo of some sort. And at this point, man, I'm just not sure if we're going to get one. Like, there's nothing to spoil. Like, and everybody that's played the demo has said it's like great, it's almost flawless, whatever the case. So I'm not really sure why they haven't dropped it publicly yet. That's like the best promotion they could possibly do for this game. So when it came to TGS, the only thing that really mattered was the apps fight itself, because we got to see how that fight plays out a little more. We got some summon gameplay, got to see some of the new character abilities, things like that. That was pretty cool. And then the classic mode announcement, which is huge information. So when you really boil it down, half of the event or more was irrelevant. It was a lot of old stuff or stuff that didn't really matter. And look, I'm not trying to be a downer here. I'm usually a pretty positive guy on this channel when it comes to this game specifically. We get mad about other stuff. But when it comes to this game, I've been pretty positive. I've liked just about everything we've seen so far. You go back like a year or two on my channel, that's when Dashing David is really bitching about this game. Whenever going 3 or 4 years of silence, that's when I was actually angry. Me saying that, you know, Tokyo Game Show was underwhelming is not me being pissed off or upset. Even though we got to see some extensive gameplay of Ifrit, got to see how the summons work and controlling them in battle and stuff, we still don't even know exactly how they work. Like, which battles can they actually be used in? We don't know yet. We don't know what certain battles means. There's just a lot of unanswered questions, man. We don't know if there's going to be a demo. We still have characters we got to see. We don't even know how the materia system works. We don't exactly know how summons work. We don't know how the games are going to work. We don't know if... A lot of people are still talking about whether or not data is going to carry over from one game to another. We've had that discussion extensively on this channel. I personally don't think it will, because these are supposed to be full-sized games, but they still haven't answered that for us. And maybe they don't even know at this point. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping if there is another event where this game's going to be shown at, they answer a lot of these questions. Like, they do interviews all the time. How has somebody not asked them, hey, is there going to be a public demo yet? Like, why isn't that a question they've answered? Or, like, data transferring from game to game. Like, how has that not been asked yet? Whether or not they know themselves, I have no idea, but still. Like, why isn't this information out there? And, look, I know that data transferring is not what this video is about, but that one's, like, a huge deal breaker for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to, you know, buy a $60 game, play through 30, 40, 50 hours, or however long the game's going to take, and then have to buy the second game for another $60 and have to start back at level 1. A lot of people do want their items and equipment and levels and data and stuff to transfer over. And that's something that they need to answer for some people out there, a good portion of the community. Anyways, my dudes, that's pretty much the video. Like I said previously, I did not hate Tokyo Game Show. I didn't dislike it. It was just underwhelming. It wasn't what a lot of us were expecting, because I talked to the people in my comment section. A lot of people were expecting more from this event, especially a demo reveal or a demo announcement. They could have at least been like, hey, we're going to drop a demo for this game at the end of the year, in December, or something. They could have told us something, right? But they didn't. I don't know. Either way, that's the video, my dudes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. And my Discord links plus networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.